Hello folks, I have a new type of ratchet wrench here. It's a standard 3/8 drive. This is a business end, of course, you're all familiar with that. I put a socket on, snap. What's different about this, on the other end it has like this lever here, and you can spin it. And if you notice, when I spin the lever, the socket is spinning. So the idea of this is to be able to spin a nut down fast or a bolt in fast by putting your index finger and spinning it like this. So, alright, you see is this. Now, here's an example of a nut where you got a long ways to spin down, and I can put this on here. Just spin that right on down easy, so it saves time. I'm going to back it back off now. Now, as you know, which this is easy, that's a new thread. As you know, a lot of times there are birds on the thread, or the threads are bunged up and it's dirty. And so you spin it down with the ratchet, and you hit a burr, and then you go by it with the ratchet. But then the ratchet just goes back and forth after you pass the burr. So normal, you take the ratchet, put it on there, and you go by the burr, you take the ratchet back off. Then you've got to spin it down again until you hit the next burr. And then the ratchet goes back on again, past, and then the ratchet goes back and forth. Well, with this, you go right by the burrs. If it gets real tight, you hit the ratchet, and you just keep going right by the burrs, or the dirty thread. So it's really handy that way. So, it also works on a bolt, whether you have a long way to put a bolt down. Okay, so I was putting a trailer hitch on my Ford, and there were 4 bolts. Then I had to put it on and fit it up and tack weld it and take it off and do some welding, put it back on and try and fit it up again. It was back off and on that day maybe 10 or 12 times. Each time I had these 4 bolts. I couldn't turn them with my fingers. And so I had to get a end wrench and turn it because they'd spin back and forth with the socket. But I used this, and it was really handy because I could just spin those bolts on 4 times, take it off, put it back on, spin the bolts on again, and this was a real situation where it was really handy and it really worked, and it saved me time and frustration because I'm very impatient about this type of thing. Here's another type. This is a 1/4 inch drive, and for small work, and it has a spindle on it, so you can just spin that with your fingers and you can spin it fast. Now you've seen some of these 1/4 inch drives or even 3/8 drive where they'll have a knurled ring around the outside of the edge where you turn it like that. But it's too slow, it takes forever. Those things, I have a bunch of them, I don't use them, they're too slow. This is fast. On a 1/4 inch you don't have much resistance, so you can really spin that thing, and they're great for when you're doing 1/4 inch or like 1032 screws, electrical work. And so here's a situation that snaps on, of course. You push it has a regular push pull, so you snap it on like that. I was trying to do it without that. So I can use it like this. I can just put it on this 1/4 inch and run that down fast, spin it, and then I can tighten it. Another thing that's unique about this one, you can use it with one hand. Here's a situation where you have a bolt going through and out of the end. You need 2 hands, so you can put your wrench here and you can spin that thing, hold that with one hand, spin it down like that, and then tighten it. Here's another place where it's very handy. It's on a sheet metal screw, and as you know, they hang up a lot. Say here's a situation where that screw's behind a washing machine or something, and you can reach around and use your finger to run it. When it hangs up, you can go by that hang up and spin it on like that, and you can tighten it up or loosen it as the case may be, like that. So that's very handy. Here's another one. Here's a small 10mm screw, both sides again, but this is a nylock nut. Of course, no way I can turn that with my hands. But I can put this on it. Oops, wrong socket here. Punch it like this. Put the socket on. Won't come off. And I can run that nylock like this and then tighten it. Okay, now we're ready for this. So folks, this is a SpinRatchet. I call it a SpinRatchet. And we have a website. It's called SpinRatchet.com. You can go there. If you want to try it and you like it, you can buy it. Again, SpinRatchet.com. So buy it, try it, you'll like it. Thank you.